What's up, guys? Brian, SLC Farms. Well, it's garden seasoning time, and thought I'd bring you along on one of the gardens we're planting. We've already planted about 4 gardens this year. This is the last ones we've got to plant here. We got to do the whole work, run the tiller over it, fertilize it, all that good stuff. I'm going to show you all the equipment we're going to be using today and bring you along as we plant the garden. All right. So over here, we've got just the good traditional tools. We've got just an Earthway push seed planter, hose, a little garden rake there. That's our bucket of seed. And we got corn, beans, okra, squash, all that stuff in it. The little box there's got the different wheels for the seed planter. This is all some plants that we planted in a little greenhouse that we made at the house. We just used some paper egg cartons and planted them. It's squash, zucchini, tomatoes. That little tray there's red peppers. So our garden spots right here. We've got the Honda side by side, and we got some good old 10-10-10 all-purpose fertilizer. We're just going to take the little garden spreader here and broadcast the fertilizer on the garden. Then we're going to till it in, and then we're going to plant our seeds. So for the tiller, we've got the M7060, and hooked behind it I've got a 6-foot king cutter tiller. I've had this tiller for probably 20 years now. Never had a problem out of it. Been a good tiller to me. It has tilled, Lord, hundreds of acres in its life, from food plots to fields to gardens. We do it, use it every year, and like I say, it's never gave me a single problem. It's all gear driven, king cutter. Like I say, bought it some number of years ago from our Massey dealer at the time, which they've closed now, and it does a fine job. So we're gonna get our fertilizer put out and go from there. That'll be the first step. We're going to just broadcast fertilizer here and then till it in. I've already put some chicken litter on this spot as well. And Chucky's going to open and close the spreader as I drive along. As soon as I hit the dirt, you just open it up. As soon as I get, oh yeah, I'll close it. All right. Alright, so we got a fertilizer spread. Let's see where we can hook y'all to this tiller here. And we'll do some tilling. Pile them around that tree. I just put them around the tree. Behind this tractor, a little bit wider than what the tiller is. I just knock it off to one side a little bit, so it covers the tire track on one side. Slow with this thing. All in all, we got about 2 acres of gardens this year. Like I say, these are the last couple of spots we're going to plant. All the gardens have different varieties and stuff. We'll be in 3D, sell a lot of it. Not running a big tractor here that much. Once this is planted, that'll be the last time this tractor comes through it. We use a little farm ball 140. Do our cultivating, and then I got a little wheel horse 520 hydro. We use it as well. I got a little, got a 32 inch tiller on it. It might be a 36 inch. And I
I call a bottom plow, turning plow, cultivator, little box blade. We've got all kinds of little implements. For a garden tractor, it works great. The slower you go, the better job it does. Still almost a little bit too wet, but they're calling for more rain tonight. And we're getting pretty, my timeline, we're getting pretty late. I need this done so I can get started on hay. All like cows begging for hay. Tractor from where I pulled the litter buggy through here, flung out some litter on it while I had some over this way. Alright, well, I'm going to finish getting this tilled up. Y'all know what it's like, and we'll see you back in the garden in a minute. Alright guys, we got it all tilled up. Our next tool we use is going to be a hoe. This hoe right here has been in my family for at least 60 years, guys, at minimum. Maybe just a little bit longer. It's hoed a lot of gardens. It's got a little white mark on it here. That's how I know how far apart I want to space my plants. So this year we did a little experimenting. We took our plants and we planted them in egg cartons. And half the egg carton, we planted the plants in an eggshell that we used. Pretty neat. It worked actually really well. As you can see here, everything came up. Right now we're putting some squash and stuff in the ground. This is squash here. Then we got some cucumbers, tomatoes. We hatched them all this way. What we are doing, because the eggshell's a little tough, let me sit y'all down here. Well, all right, what we are doing, since the eggshell's a little tough, we're just taking and peeling that shell off of there so the roots can come through. You'll see once I get the plant out of here in just a second. You can see how it's got a good root system there. I'm trying to show y'all. Got a really good root system there. Now I'm burying that little bit of eggshell. I'm burying that with the plant. So I'm just taking my plant, pulling a little dirt up to it. These had a good healthy start, like I say, in our little homemade greenhouse. That's all there is to it. We've already put the fertilizer in this soil, so there's no need to put any below it or anything like that. And then the others, I just plant with the egg carton. It's I'm just throwing them in the hole here. I'll show you how I do that. So these egg cartons, they're pretty moist, and just like your little pea pots, I can take that paper and just tear that plant right off, and I'm planting the whole thing. It'll grow, the roots will grow right through this carton, no problem. It'll rot and dissolve. And so same thing, I'm just gonna take a little dirt, and the way I do it, I dig my hole a little deep and plant my plant, and then that leaves a swell for water, a small swell for water to be able to stay right around the plant. And works out really well, guys. Try to sit y'all here. I don't have my tripod. Y'all are sitting right in the dirt. We put 2 seeds per little cup. That's just the way I learned to do it. That way if one don't sprout, you got another one. But a lot of times both seeds will come up, but it'll make a good hardy plant. But nothing to it when you do it. I like this. I don't know if we'll use the eggshells next year or not. Just because you have to pull the eggshell off, we thought maybe they would crack a little better than what they have. But that works great. You can just, like I say, you just peel that right off. If y'all got any comments about how you do yours, you know, this was something, we had the egg cartons, we had the seed. We didn't go to the store and buy a thing. Even making our little greenhouse that we made, we had some recycled doors that came from like a convenience store where they had replaced the cooler doors where you get your Pepsi. So they were just glass doors, and we used some cinder blocks we had and just made a little greenhouse. Thank goodness we got Chucky here helping today. Like I say, this soil's still a little bit moist for what I like, but it was either get it in the ground today or wait another week. And I didn't want to wait another week. Look, now we got all of our squash and zucchini in. That's 2 dozen of them there. Now we got some cucumbers and tomatoes we'll plant, and so on and so forth. So I think I might set up a little time lapse, and me and Chucky's gonna go to town planting the rest of these plants. Now we got all our tomatoes and squash and our plants that we had planted in the greenhouse up. Next, we're going to use our Earthway row seeder to plant our corn, beans, and okra. So what we got here is a little Earthway seeder here. We've got a little plate in it. The one we got in it right now, and I'll show you how those change when we change to beans, is for corn. And we've got our corn seed in there. The coating on the seed is just to help protect it. This particular variety is called candy corn. Usually I plant Silver Queen, and that's what we planted in the other gardens, but this one I'm trying a little bit different variety. So far we've put in 2 rows. So the front wheel operates the seed mechanism with this little belt right here, and then it drops the seed down into this chute right behind, and then the back is a closing wheel, and closes and tamps it. So Chucky's gonna give it a push here, and this old red dirt, it's hard, but we get it done. It's got a little marker thing on it to help mark where your previous row was. I'll try to get a close-up shot here. You can see the seed drop down the chute.
Have to be real close. I'll put it in slow-mo there where you can see that.
Sometimes it'll drop 2 seeds. Sometimes it's just 1. I don't mind doubles. What's nice about this is it just spaces everything out pretty evenly. I used to do it all, just lay my rows off and plant it by hand. We bought this year, so it's my first time really using it. There's pros and cons to it. Some cons is I have to broadcast my fertilizer into the garden instead of putting it in the row below the seed. It's a little bit hard to push. I think I can run a hoe easier just because I'm used to running a hoe. And especially when you get in this like clumpy dirt like this, just makes it a little bit of a pain. This ground, like I keep saying, it's a little bit moist still. Uh-oh, we're going too deep there. You don't want to go. There we go. Might have to go to your left just a little bit. It does not want to go through this sticky mud. This end is the worst on this garden. Might have to come through and do a little hand planting once it comes up. There we go, we made it. All right, we might have enough in there for 1 more row.
You want to show the flip?
Huh?
You want to show the flip?
Oh yeah, it's got a little thing so you can see how far apart your rows are. You just flip it from one side to the other. I wish this thing, it's all aluminum, so I can't really magnetize y'all to it anywhere. All right, where's Chucky's row? Right there. Oh, right through some more clumpy dirt. All right, ready?
You see it? I can't see it.
Oh, my thing is not on.
All right, so we got our corn planted. So right here we've got different little seed things. This was the one for the corn. This is like for peas. The one we're going to use next, this is going to be for our okra. All you got to do is there's a couple little notches. You just put that plate in there. It slides right on. And you just twist lock it. You just need 2 hands, sorry. You just twist that thing on there until it's kind of tight like that. Now we'll find our okra seed here. Hold that for me, please. All right, so I'm big on saving seeds. A lot of my seeds older, like this okra here is probably a couple years old. I put it in Ziplocs and put it in the freezer. As it gets older, I start rotating it in, but I always like to have seed for emergency use, so that's why I keep it. Now, I bought new seed this year, and some of it gets planted, but the majority of it will get put into the freezer just to have. Like I say, you just never know when you're going to need some seeds to plant something. And I've never really had bad luck with my seeds going bad or losing germination rate or anything like that. So, yeah.
You're okay.
There's something that's growing. Should be a squash or a zucchini here. Plant that in the ground. Just making sure I got all the okra seed here. I'm gonna use it all up, what I got. I might have a little bit left over. I'm only gonna plant about 2 rows of okra. It does not take much okra to make a lot. 2 rows might be too much. All right, so find where we left off. About right there. Take our thing off there. All right, that's good. think I'm gonna adjust my depth up just a little bit. Oop. All right, last row of okra here. That ain't deep enough. Went too shallow. Let's go from there. All right. Yeah. Right back in this red clotty stuff. All right, guys, well, I only got about 30 seconds left on my SD card. It filled up on me. We got all the gardens planted. So we got this spot. We got about 5 long rows of green beans, 10 rows of corn, 2 rows of okra, about 20 tomato plants, so on and so forth. Right below me there, I got another little patch. You can see it there. That's all watermelon and cantaloupe. So I'll keep y'all updated as it grows and bring you along. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. See you on the next one.